One of the great things about doing our show here from the Golden One Center on game nights is that we sometimes get kind of a sneak preview of what's to come.
Oh,
we talk about, there you go, right there. I don't want to say who it is in case that he's not actually here, but it looks like maybe one of the all-time Kings fan favorites may be in attendance tonight based on some graphics we're seeing on the big board.
Yeah, one of our top 15 guys.
Yes, and he thought he should have been higher.
Yeah, he thought he should have been higher. Yeah. And so if he's in the building, man, that's gonna be epic. That's gonna be huge tonight.
Speaking of fan favorites, nice enough to join us, Kings icon, the one and only Jerry Reynolds. How are you today, Jerry?
Oh, I'm doing great, guys. I love the view of you guys at the arena there. I mean, it kind of actually makes you look a little younger, both of you, which is probably a very good thing, I think.
Sure. At this point,
today,
take what we can get. The Kings, as you know, Coach, they've won 5 of 6. In what ways do you think they need to improve to keep that going in the right direction?
Well, I mean, they've had the last couple of games, the second halves have been awfully good basketball. So I certainly would start there, continue to have great second halves. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have better first halves. But, 3-point shooting and 3-point defensive shooting, I think there again, it's been a problem. I don't think it'll be a problem much longer, but it has been. And tonight they've got some guys that make 3-point shots. So, could be a problem.
Hey, Jerry, you brought up 3-point shooting, and Whitey and I were talking about it earlier in the show. The Kings, they're 5th in offensive rating, 5th best offense in the league, 5th most efficient offense, but yet they aren't shooting the 3 as well. Their 3-point attempts are down this season. Can you be successful in the NBA being an efficient 2-point team and not relying as heavily as Dallas, as Boston on the 3, do you think?
Yeah, I think you can. And I think they're on the right track. I mean, they're so efficient in the 2-point game, certainly with Domas and DeRozan in particular, and obviously Fox is good in there too. But the 3-point shooting, the idea that they're shooting fewer of them, I think it's good. Just get a better percentage, and that percentage goes up, and the effectiveness of the 2-point kind of mid-range game, that'd be better. I don't think they need to shoot any more 3s. They just need to make more of the ones they're shooting.
Jerry, this is kind of a leading question. I apologize for that, but I haven't been watching as much basketball as you have. But for what I have seen, Domas to me he brings a consistent level of effort, maybe as much as anyone I've ever seen. I'm just wondering, is he one of the better players you've seen in terms of his effort level every single night?
Honestly, in my 70 years of watching basketball, or 70 from a young tad and playing whatever, he is without a doubt the most hardworking, consistent, full energy guy I've ever seen. There has never been a King that consistently brings it every night. Some are more talented. There have been more talented ones, but what he gets out of his talent is just remarkable. And you see the stats every night and every game, and he said, 17 points. Yeah, and he took 6 shots to get them, and 13 rebounds or 12 assists, and just busted his hump and got knocked goofy and gets up and knocks somebody else goofy. And no, he's amazing. Like I say, he's what you'd like every player to be, just a guy that is ready to play when the ball goes up and plays it till the horn sounds.
Jerry Reynolds joining us. Hey, Jerry, what are you seeing from Keegan Murray this early in the season? I feel like he's giving the Kings sort of exactly what they want. Maybe not coming out there and scoring 30 every night, but he's doing a lot of the little things, I think, to help this team win.
Oh, absolutely. I think you and Katie have hit on it consistently. He's rebounding the ball better. He's getting on the offensive board. You're seeing him really attack the basket more. And obviously defensively, he's just made growth in just about every area. And I think he's one of those guys that he's capable of getting 30, but he's going to play just as hard if he's going to score 10, and I think on this team, when you've got individual scorers like DeRozan and De'Aaron and Malik, there'll be nights he needs to fit in, and he knows how to do it and is willing to do it, which is maybe the bigger thing, that he'll do the dirty work and offense, will be there if they need him to be there.
Jerry, one of the things that really stood out to me about the win in Miami was the way the Kings, they started so slowly. They were down 13 at the half. They come back, they take the lead, then they lose it again, and they still found a way to win despite some calls that didn't go their way, despite the fact there were stretches they didn't play well. I thought the way they maintained their composure through all that was a really encouraging sign. What did you make of that?
Exactly that. They've had chances to win every game, and that means a lot to me. Because last year, and I think maybe Kyle and you guys pointed out on TV a little, is that last year's that a couple of those games would have been the kind of games that had rolled over, and but that Miami game was a terrific win, and they just kept battling. Miami is who they are. They don't really give you anything. The Kings just took it and got lucky at the end. There's no doubt that. So Doma's not going to make that play very often, but it's also true he's the kind of guy that will try to make that play if need be.
Yeah, Jerry Reynolds joining us. Jerry, let's talk about tonight's game. No Kawhi Leonard, but they still got James Harden, and we've seen Norman Powell. Just how do you view tonight's matchup with the Clippers, who, have played a little bit better than I think people expected them to be?
Yeah, they have, and I think, Norman Powell's been terrific. That guy, he's one of those guys that I think most of us saw him through the years, and, he's one of the guys saying, boy, looks like he could be really good, and now he's really good. And, he's making about 60% of his, or 50% of his 3-pointers and 60% on twos, I think I was looking at. I mean, he'll be a tough cover for him. And so certainly the Kings will have their tough spot there. I mean, Zubac's much improved as a center. He's a little bit tough for Domas too, because he's bigger and equally strong. Now for Harden, I think we can, I hate to say this, I'll probably Harden get 50, but I think Kings can deal with him. I think they can get into him a little bit. He'll turn it over. If, 5 years ago, you couldn't have done that to him, but I think you can now. And then, but I think Amir Coffey and Chris Dunn are also keys. They're guys that, not nearly enough was expected of, but they know it's their chance, and they early on, it's going to be a tough go. They're better than they're supposed to be, and I think mainly because you got some guys who are finally kind of their veteran guys who are getting their chance and kind of want to keep it.
When I watch the Clippers over the years, Jared, and this guy's in and that guy's out and that guy's hurt, it just seems to me the more I watch, the more I appreciate what a good coach Ty Lue is.
Yeah, he's as good as there is. And he gets as much out of his talent as you can. I mean, when you don't have guys there, you're not going to win big. And it's a shame with Kawhi. I mean, I know he's hurt, and I feel for him because that guy should be a top 5 guy in the league when he's healthy and playing at his best, but he just hadn't been that for years now, and it's a shame. And that's just tough for the league, really, because he's one of those guys you love watching play because of his greatness. But Ty, he's one of those coaches that kind of the Jerry Sloan method. He doesn't bitch about, doesn't think about the injuries or whatever. We play who we got, and we expect them to play. And I kind of I always like that, just don't whine about what you don't have. Just make sure that the guys you do have do the best they can.
What was it like coaching against Jerry Sloan?
It was scary. Because we were good friends, but I knew him and just the way they played. I mean, you talk about a team that brought it every night. I mean, Stockton and Malone. I mean, they would spank you a little bit and make you like it. And there was with Malone, I mean, there was very few guys that really just weren't scared of him. You know, I always remember Tank Thompson we had. He was one of the rare guys. I really admired Tank so much because he wasn't afraid of Malone. He couldn't stop him, but he wouldn't back off of him. You know, so yeah, that was but Sloan was he was an intimidating guy. You know, with players and referees, everything.
Hey, Jerry,
I was going to tell you, I always remember talking to Norm Van Leer. You know, he and Sloan had the reputation of the toughest guard line, you know, the old Bulls and stuff. And Norm was a CBA coach, and I was talking to him, and I said, man, you guys, about how physical they were and they intimidated everybody. And he said, yeah. He said, I wasn't that tough. He said, I played that way because I was scared of Jerry.
Wow. That's a great story. Hey, Jerry, you know, you mentioned you just got to deal with what you have and make the best of it. I'm looking at our Kings bench, and it's been, you know, not what we expected so far. As a coach, what do you do? What buttons can you push? Is it instill confidence, give them some more run, or if you don't have it, you don't have it?
Yeah, I think Mike Brown's doing the best he can there. Obviously, he you know, people will say, well, he's playing his starters huge minute. Well, of course he is, because that's how you can win. You know, when the bench isn't giving you much, you can't play him a lot. I think he's still giving them chances, opportunities, especially like Trey Lyles, to kind of get his game going. I think obviously the injuries to, you know, and sickness of Herter set him back a little bit. Kevin's playing well. And now that I think, you know, to Coach Brown and his credit and Keon Ellis, it looks like he's got his game on track. So I think if the thin bench is not going to be as good as I think we hoped it'd be, but just got to pray that the starters stay healthy. How's that?
There you go. Yeah. Coach, thanks, Jerry. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. We'll talk about some wins next week, too.
Yes.
There you go. Thank
you. And maybe
Jerry
talk about another Chiefs win, maybe, huh?
All right, Jay. Cut him.
Okay. See you guys.
All
See
right,
ya.
Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry Reynolds.
Yeah, that's good stuff.
Coaches, right? They're so logical sometimes. Of course, he's playing the starters.
Right. He's trying to win the game. Right?
When we come back, how close are the Kings? How close are they? I'm not saying they're there now. How close are they to having a big four? Next with the Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.